It is an honor to present the keynote address by Dr. Eva Langerbeck, the Deputy Executive Director and Head of the Corporate Services Department at the Malaysian-German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, MGCC. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Eva Langerbeck to share her insight in today's auspicious event. All right, and the topic of her speech is TVET Germany, the success story. And Dr. Eva, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good morgen, and selamat pagi. On behalf of the Malaysian-German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it is of course an honor to welcome you all to today's Industry Summit. I would also like to send the regards of our former CEO, Daniel Bernbeck, who sadly left to South America already, but he is definitely with us in mind because he was very invested in dual vocational training in Malaysia as well. I would also like to welcome our Excellency, Dr. Peter Blomeyer, the Ambassador of the German Federal Republic in Malaysia, YB Dato Wira Dr. Ashraf Wajdi, the Chairman of the Majlis Amanah Rakyat MARA, then YB Dato Sri Reasa, the Director General of MARA, the top management of MARA, the appointed members also of the industry advisory councils, our industry partners and friends, the members of the media, and of course, dear ladies and gentlemen. MGCC has been a driver of dual vocational training in Malaysia since 2014, when we established the first dual vocational training with German standards in Malaysia here in the country. Combining, as we've heard already, 70% of practical tuition with 30% of theory, the program aims to inspire young Malaysians to become a driving part in the Malaysian workforce by offering, of course, a tailored training to the industry demands and a career path in the industry. On the national level, the German dual vocational training in Malaysia is linked to the Malaysian National Dual Training System and is coordinated by MGCC together with the Malaysian Department of Skills Development, JPK. In Kuala Lumpur, as you know, we collaborate strongly with the German-Malaysian Institute as our chosen technical stool. Today, there are also a lot of training companies with us, for example, Bosch, Körber, and also B. Braun. So a big shout out to your support, especially in the continuous path to grow the Malaysian talents. The system of dual vocational training, as we've heard in the panel discussion already, is a success story for the German economy because it offers companies well-trained employees with extensive practical, theoretical, and also personal skills and the right cultural fit. But what made German dual vocational training so successful in the first place? Please join me on a short journey to the roots of German dual vocational training and its success factors. So I hope we see the presentation now. Okay, next slide, please. If you look at those numbers here, our members and also the trade statistic are a very strong testament to the strong bilateral ties between Malaysia and Germany. And Malaysia is still today the largest trading partner in the ASEAN of the German industry. Some of the members you see here are training companies and pioneers in dual vocational training in Malaysia. Next slide, please. As I mentioned already before, we are active in dual vocational training already since 2014. It has been a bit of a rocky road in the past, but I'm proud to say that today we train the future workforce, especially in mechatronics, together with our training companies and the training schools such as GMI. Is it enough to grow the future talents in Malaysia? No, of course not, but that's why we are all here today. Next slide, please. If we look at the history of German dual vocational training in Germany, the roots date actually back to the pre-industrial area, to the Middle Ages, when trade and craftsmen were still organized as guilds. And the guilds were the very first small organization actually crafting a system of apprenticeship where master professionals trained the future apprentices and passed along their knowledge along the way. You were only able to practice a craft or a trade if you were a member of the guild. So in a way that also foreshadows the later system of our German chambers, where all the companies, of course, then are a member. And later, during industrialization, we have additional organizations coming in, the training schools, providing a certain theory path, and later in the 60s, the state. Since 1961, Germany has a unified regulation for German dual vocational training, which combines the state, government support, of course, the technical schools, and the industry, and lays the strong groundwork, of course, for that particular framework. So, if we look at some of the statistics, TVET made in Germany in numbers, then you see already we have over 300 training professions in Germany, because we have to cater to a variety of industry demands. Not only mechatronics, but there's also logistics management, of course, and a lot of other professions. We have over 400 training companies. Why is the support so strong? Because usually for companies, it pays off already after the first year. The trainee is already well trained enough to contribute actively to the workforce in the company. And companies in Germany have a willingness to train because they know the system works. The best part, of course, is, and this is a strong selling point, of course, for any future tenants, is that at least 75% of all the trainees in dual vocational trainee are being employed then by the company after passing successfully the examination. And we've heard already today, it is such an established path because even CEOs and experts have a dual vocational training. Not everyone studies engineering or chemistry. We've also heard that the magic formula is 70% practical tuition versus 30% theory. And we heard, of course, why that is so important. It doesn't make sense, of course, if you know the formula on paper, but you cannot apply that on the job, and you don't know how the machinery works. The other success factor, of course, is that we have a strong collaboration between all the three parties involved. The company, the school, and the trainees, and of course the government. Next slide, please. So to summarize the success factors, we have very strong state support, and this has been vital from the very beginning. The system is based on industry demand, and the companies are willing to train. As we heard from Bosch today, you don't have to convince a German company to train. They know the system works. They know they get qualified labor in the future. There is a very strong collaboration of all parties involved with a central approach. We have a uniform law and a quality control, which is very important. Because I've been asked a couple of times also, of course, whether standards can be lowered for the training to ensure that more people pass the examination. No. Why? Because it would not be in the interest of the industry. You have to meet certain standards, of course, to be able to get employed later on and know what you're doing. We have one central coordination body and not multiple ones. And you have a very strong career path. And some of the TVET graduates, after they, of course, successfully entered the workforce, might even realize they want to pursue a path into management. They might pursue an MBA in addition to that. It is certified, it is recognized, therefore the path still remains open for those that want to embark on it. So to borrow the phrase we heard from the panel discussion earlier, TVET is certainly not the end, but it is the beginning. So with that, I thank everyone, and I hope for good and successful collaborations in the future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Eva Langerbeck, for the sharing and for the speech just now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have concluded our first session. On behalf of GMI, we would like to invite you all for a campus tour segment that will highlight some of our best courses and the technology centers from all of our three departments, which is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and the computer and information departments. Buses for the tour is provided and are waiting for you outside the hall. Thus, we would like to seek your kind cooperation to please make your your way to the hall entrance. The campus tour will be followed by lunch in the hall before we anticipate the arrival of our VIP later. And now, thank you all.